but it will help to illustrate. All right, now remember we said that how this clay gets to be something of use and something of purpose is by being yielded to the potter's hand, okay? I'll just go ahead and start this here. What you're looking at here, folks, is a self-made pot. Because I haven't done much but just put it on the wheel. It could spin all day, but it's not going to evolve into a piece of pottery by itself. It has to be what? Yielded to the potter's touch. And the potter needs to know where he's going to go with it. All right? So let's just see what happens for a second. By the way, the master potter knows what he's doing. Don't try to start the process until you're centered on the things of God. Some people want to take the world around them and center it to all their personal goals. But the Christian becomes yielded and centered on the things of God, and folks, they're way, way different. I was visiting with my third son, who helps me some. He works for U.S. Bank in Owensboro. The national headquarters for the mortgage department is there in Owensboro. I was visiting, and I met the man in the cubicle that was beside him. And he said, I took pottery one time, and he said, I kind of got it up, and he said, I couldn't figure out how to get the hole in the middle. And he said, so I just kind of patted it up on the outside and said, you know, from the outside, it looked pretty good, okay? So I sometimes ask Christians, are you the real deal on the inside, or are you just kind of patted up so you look good? People saw you with your tie on, you were coming to church this morning, you look good driving out of the neighborhood, but are you the real deal? Are you the real deal, okay? Now the truth of the matter is, folks, more of the work is done. You don't see me doing very much on the outside. Most of the work is done on the inside. If you were to ask me, how do I know if a piece of pottery is handmade? And I would tell you fairly quickly, look on the inside. Okay? On the inside, a potter may take a tool and he may smooth all of his hand marks off of it. But on the inside, you will see the little swirls where his or her hand have brought the clay up. The closer you get to being the finished thing that God is looking for, the slower the speed will be and the less pressure will be applied to you. A beginning potter many times leaves too much clay right down in the bottom. And that's because they get scared that if they keep trying to pull it up, the piece will get to wobbling on them and they'll lose it. So they don't do that. Here's a question that kind of relates back to what I was talking about what everybody else sees being padded up. I have, it's been an interesting study for me. I have over 30 references that I've written down in the front of my Bible about how God sees us on the inside. I think the psalmist said several times, "Oh Lord, you know my thoughts." So God doesn't just know what you do, He knows why you do what you do. If you're just doing it to look good, if you're like the Pharisees that went out in the middle of the court and had somebody ring a cymbal or blow a trumpet before they prayed, and then they prayed out loud so everybody could see them. And Jesus said about that kind of a person, basically, by the time everybody got through clapping and saying, "Oh, what a good man he is," his reward was over. His reward was over. The Bible says, really, you're doing stuff for the Lord, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. You ever just do something for Jesus and not tell anybody? If you did, then you truly did it for Jesus. If you did it so you could brag about it, well, when people got through saying, "Oh, that's a good person," well, you got your reward. I'd like to save one or two until I get to heaven, amen. I'd like to save one or two. Now, because when I get to heaven, something is going to happen. There'll be a time that I stand before the Lord. What I have done is going to be revealed. There'll be a time when the Lord sees the inside as clearly as the outside. What's it going to be like for